Have you ever visited Montana? I haven't, but like, it's not a destination that I have like a high percentage chance to like go to as a vacation. But if I had to run from the law, it would be like first on the list for sure. The Montana guy did it. Listen, did I answer the question to free him from feeling like he has to ask it over and over? Yeah. If I was like Jason Bateman from Ozark, you could catch my ass in Montana. I'm not even insulting Montana. Like, there's other... I think there's states... Okay, now it's just genuinely rude, but I think there's states that have less to offer. At least Montana is beautiful. It has natural beauty, right? Topography, geology, stuff like that. There's some states out there, like, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't see my ass ever going to Alabama. Like, it's a state that I don't think is particularly naturally beautiful. If I wanted great food, I'd go one state over and I'd go to Louisiana. If I wanted like warm weather, I would go like a couple states to the southeast. I would go to Florida. It just doesn't seem like there's anything there for me. I guess if you're really into like college football or something, or college, any sport. I'm in Alabama, you're right. It might be a fine place to live. I have no idea. But as a tourist, it wouldn't be on the list. It has Space Camp? I thought Space Camp was in Florida too. You're telling me they have Space Camp in Alabama instead of at like next to Cape Canaveral? I guess the astronauts don't go to Space Camp, now that I think about it. We haven't even sent a man to the moon in like 40 years or something. That's where they build the rockets. You know, I had no idea. Well, listen, if I was... I'm not trying to say there's no, like, economy or anything. It's on the Gulf of Mexico, right? I'm sure it's got an economy that's doing something. I'm not... All I'm saying is I think as a foreign tourist, there's not much reason for me to go to Alabama. I mean, like, no disrespect. As a foreign tourist, there's probably, like, you know, less than 10 states that I would go to. And you might say, like, oh, that's offensive. But, like, your ass does not go to, like, every province in France when you go to France. Your ass goes to Paris and then goes, oh, I went to France last year. So, like, don't take offense. It's the same thing. Like, we got 10 wins thanks to the Tamarind. I'll be like a flexible astronaut. They could live in Florida or in Alabama, apparently. Alabama's a pile. I did not say Alabama is a pile, okay? I know I did. Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, again, it's not disrespectful. There's more good places to live than there are good places to visit. It has to be that way. Otherwise, your ass would never go anywhere. You would just stay where you live. In the U.S., I would go to... If I was just from foreign country, let's not even specify a country. We'll make that like a generic, okay? California... Natural beauty, great weather, good cuisine. Hollywood, Los Angeles, San Francisco, that's a given. New York City, and everything that comes with it. Those are a given, okay? Florida, Miami, cuisine, culture, Disney parks. You hate the player, don't hate the game, okay? That's just honest. Nevada, so true. Las Vegas. That's it. That's all you need, okay? Texas, unique culture, cuisine, some sightseeing and culture, for sure. Illinois, Chicago, Italian beef sandwiches. The hot dogs have pickles on them and the pizzas are tall. Okay, now I'm starting to... run out, honestly. No disrespect. Sure, okay, I'll get Colorado... Skiing, beautiful nature. That would be on the list for me. I would like Hawaii is a given. Okay, Hawaii's a given. And then like I like Seattle, but if you were just from nondescript another country, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, you got to go to Seattle." Like if you're from Vancouver, I'd be like, "You got to go to Seattle." They'd be like, "What's there?" I'd be like, "The same shit more or less, but it's only a 3-hour drive. Like send it." Alaska, sure. I would put Alaska up on the list as well. Philly? Really, though? Like, if your ancestors from Austria, you're going to be like, I'm going to Philly on vacation? You go to New York. You can, if you're from New York, go to Philly. If you're from Philly, go to New York. If you're from Austria, I'm sorry. I feel like New York probably clears you. I will even give you, I'll give you Louisiana, because New Orleans, for me, feels like a nightmare destination, but a lot of people are like, that's like a dream for me. So fair enough. DC, my ass does not care about going to DC at all. Because I'm not American. Like, well, what do I care about seeing the White House and the Lincoln Memorial and stuff? Abe Lincoln didn't do shit for me, man. I guess like there's probably some knock-on effects from the American Civil War, but like my ass, if I'm gonna go to Washington D.C., my ass should just go to Ottawa or something and learn about my own culture, you know, or my own history. I don't think someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm from Stockholm. You gotta go see Washington D.C., bro. You gotta go see the Capitol building." Dude probably lives like across the street from the Royal Palace. Nashville? Sure, if you're into like, you know. I mean, isn't like Nashville is kind of like New Orleans for Kenny Chesney fans? It's like if you don't like jazz because there's no words in it, then Nashville is like your New Orleans. Public drunkenness, like bodily fluids hanging out everywhere, but then country music instead of jazz. Also, the only other thing I have against Nashville is not fair. They have their own HGTV show about like, you know, love it or listed Nashville. And that immediately is like a minus 50 for me. It's not even fair. That being said, there is love it or listed Vancouver. You might say double standard. No, I take 50 points off Vancouver. Vancouver is kind of, it exists in like a quantum superposition. When it's sunny and it snowed like relatively recently and you can see the mountains and you're like, oh, it's hot enough that I could wear a t-shirt, but there's snow on that mountain. I'm like, this is damn paradise. When the forests are all on fire and like somebody almost runs over me when I have the right of way crossing the street in a white model Tesla Y, and then like I look at them and they're on their cell phone like FaceTiming somebody, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. And I always just give them like as if they're gonna look in their rearview mirror and see me. And they're gonna interpret this. They're gonna see this and they're gonna be like, oh, he's saying, oh, really? Like, I guess you learned how to drive when there were only 2 cars on the road, where in order to start your car, you had to go out into an open field and take a big crank and shove it into the front of the car where the engine is, and then go ring ding 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 ring ding 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 ding. Like they're gonna interpret that immediately. Oh, here we go. Spent a week in Vancouver. Everything was awesome. Somehow the Ubers were all super nice cars. What's up with that? I drive my 2001 Mazda Miata and I get picked up in a Lexus for 10 freedom dollars, 12 maple bucks. I'm not offended. I don't know. I haven't taken Ubers in Vancouver too much because I live here. I've been in a couple Ubers in Vancouver. I took an Uber home from the hospital after I finally got my antibiotics last summer. I was like weeping in the back seat. The driver was probably pretty uncomfortable. What I remember, he was driving like a Toyota Corolla though. It wasn't that. It's not a bad car, but it's not like I wasn't like, oh, that's crazy. Why were you weeping? Because I finally got a doctor that like took my ass seriously when I was like, I feel like I'm gonna die. You ever see a therapist about that? No, I'm playing Super Auto Pets. The world's least impatient doctor. The first doctor I saw out of like 5 doctors where I was like, hey, I've had diarrhea for 3 weeks and my legs are rotting. Everyone else is like, I don't really know what's up with that. She was like, hey, can you roll your pant legs up for a second? I was like, oh, it finally happened. Mom, it happened. What were you ill with? I don't want to tell you because... It was a long arc on the channel, okay? But we're past it now.